Okay, hello everyone. This is Nathan. Today we're going to build a simple HTML canvas in which you can move a ship in a 3D sort of environment. This tutorial will cover making the canvas, creating shapes, basic animating using the transform functions, and taking input from the keyboard, all using the handy built-in functions from the paper.js file. So I'll pull up what the final version should look like. Okay, so although it doesn't really look like a ship, it's kind of just, that's something that you could play with all the different shapes that you can make. So as you can see, it'll move up, down, side to side, do the diagonals, rotates, and then the emulated like 3D that we can make actually just scales the shape, but as you can see, it kind of gets closer and farther away. Okay, to start us off, we have to create a folder that our HTML page is going to go into. We'll just name it something simple, if I can figure out how to rename a folder. Let's say ship example. Okay, now we're going to have to add our paper.js file. So you can download this off of the paper.js website. I've already done so, so I'm just going to drop it in. Okay, so next we'll add the actual HTML file. I'm just going to open a terminal window and then just do a touch command. So we'll do cd slash ooh. Okay, so now when we open this, there it is, there's a HTML file in here. We'll open that up in Xcode for purposes on the Mac, but it doesn't really matter what you open it with. So now we can start actually writing the HTML file. So right in here is where we're going to add our paper script. Okay, so now when we open, if we open this HTML file in a browser, we should get a full-sized canvas appearing. Save this. Okay, so here's our Google Chrome window, and if I go inspect element, here we have a canvas. So we know that so far our code is good. Okay, so our next step is to actually create a rectangle that'll be drawn within the canvas. I also just noticed the error that I was getting right here. This should have a T, and now everything is colored nicely, and you can tell that the code's been fixed. So we'll start by start making our rectangle with a variable ship equals path dot rectangle. Rectangle is a built-in shape that comes with paper.js, and it takes a point and a size. So we'll make a new point 200, 200, which is a nice even point for this canvas. In paper.js, the origin, so 0, 0 is actually in the top left corner, and it moves up in the positive direction as you go right and down on your screen. We'll also give it a size, new size 100. And so again, that'll be a pretty reasonable size for a rectangle on our screen. And shape. Now we can give it some color. Ship.style equals, and we'll add more than one. We'll give it a fill color of gray, because this rectangle is going to look like a spaceship. And a stroke color of black, and that'll give it a black outline. Close that, and now when we save this and open our HTML file, we should have a nice gray rectangle, and there it is. So pretty simple. So far it's not moving or doing anything, but the rectangle appears within the canvas at 200, 200 like we specified. So now we can move on to actually animating the shape. Okay, so we're going to start with a simple animation just to kind of get a feel for it, and we're going to make it so the rectangle will automatically move off the screen to the right. Pretty much all animation in, well, not all, but a lot of the animation you'll do in paper.js is done in the onFrame function, which, as you can tell by the name, whatever's inside this function will run once every frame. So this can be expensive on resources if there's a lot being done in here, but for the most part, things are pretty simple. So to the right would be, yeah. So we'll give it a translate takes an x and a y like change of velocity, I guess. So we'll give it a velocity of 5 in the x and 0 in the y for now. And we'll close that. And now if we run our HTML file, we see the rectangle moving off the screen, which is what we're looking for. Now we want to be able to control that with some of our keyboard buttons. Okay, so next we're going to figure out if a key has been pressed on the keyboard, and then if so, we will translate the shift to the right. So we're going to use the WASD keys, so we'll do if key dot is down bracket, and then W for, or actually if we're going to do this for sliding right, we'll do D, and close brackets, save that, and if we open it, the rectangle should move to the right only when I press D, which it is. So next we'll go through and I'll quickly copy 3 of these, one for moving up and down in Y direction and one for moving left using A. Okay, so I've gone ahead and added a W, A, and SD, or an S function. As I said before, there's the X value, which is the first one, and the Y is the second value. So for W down, we're going to want to have -5. And then the same for the rest. So if we try that, I should be able to move in all directions correctly. So our directional pad is working correctly. So now we'll add rotation, and we'll use the arrow keys for this. Is down. And for the arrow keys, they're just spelled in lowercase, or actually we use right. Right will have them rotate to the right, logically. So for rotate, again, there's a built-in function, ship.rotate, lowercase, and it takes a speed. It also takes a point if you wanted it to rotate around another point, but if you want it to rotate around its center, uh, you can just leave that blank. So speed will do 5. Right is positive and left is negative. So when we do left, we will use a negative. Oh, here's our window, sorry. So there you go, as you can see, he's rotating right at a reasonable speed. Doesn't really need to go faster. We'll quickly add left. And make that negative. And so far we have rotate right and left, and translate up, down, left, and right. So next we're going to use the up and down arrow keys to scale the rectangle so that it gets smaller and looks like it goes into the screen, and gets larger and looks like it comes out of the screen to give it a 3D effect. So again, we will check for a key. Key.is down. In this case, we'll do up. Now we'll use the function ship.scale. Scale is interesting because it doesn't use a positive negative to determine whether it gets larger or smaller. It's actually a percentage. So for our cases, we're going to use 1.1, so scale by 110%. Actually, that would make more sense for down. We want it to get larger to come out of the screen. So we use the down arrow key to make it larger. And then we do the same thing. If key is down, up, then we want the rectangle to move into the screen, and we want to make it smaller, so we'll scale it by 90% per frame. So that's 0.9. Save that, refresh the window, and there you have it. Now it's coming in and out of the screen, translates and rotates using the WASD keys and the arrow keys. Okay, so that sums up this tutorial then. Although it doesn't do much on its own, we did cover some good fundamentals which you could do a lot with. Again, we covered creating an HTML5 canvas, animating using the transform functions, making shapes with paper.js, and getting the keyboard input. So there's plenty of things you could build with these tools. If you have any more questions about stuff like this, there's plenty of good tutorials on the paper.js website, but you can feel free to leave a comment below and I'll try and get back to you. That's all I have though. Thanks.